Hello and welcome, this is Bees, the updated version of Bees.
Bees?
Oh, no, not the bees! Hit the fuck bees!
It's bees!
It mainly has Ren Insect in the main board and Collector Oof in the side with a singular copy of Magmax Sinkhole. This is what Modern Horizons has brought to the deck. For those of you who weren't around before, there will be a link to the Bees playlist in the description and in the cards. I've played Bees on the channel a couple of times before. It's not a competitive deck, so don't build this with the intent of taking on your local FNM and wrecking some of those spikes. It's a meme. It's a joke. It's just a bit of banter. I also lied, by the way. There's another card, important card. It's like Boris Reckoner, apart from it's easy to cast. The plan of our deck is to either resolve a Spiteful Sliver or a Hornet's Nest. From there we have two ways of actually killing our opponents. One is to Blasphemous Act, either making 13 bees or shooting our opponent in the face for 13 damage, or we can Volcano Hellion, paying life to shoot our bees or our sliver for the amount of damage we need to do to their face. In the meantime, from there we have Impact Tremors to ping them every time a creature comes into play. That can obviously be a big old fucking fireball when all these 13 bees show up. Bloodbraid Elf, got Tireless Trackers to allow us to play like a mid-range grindy deck. Our removal at the moment traditionally would have been Bolts, but I'm really up on like 3 Flame Slash because Thing in the Ice is a massive cunt. Flame Jab plus Ren Insect plus a copy of Life from the Loam and some Faithless Lootings allow us to sort of loop lands out of our graveyard and grow value that way. And then we only have to play 23 lands as opposed to 24, 25 to be a mid-range deck and wants to land our Blasphemous Act. We're favoured against decks that want to go fucking wide because we get to Blasphemous Act with their board away. We're unfavoured against decks that play huge amounts of interaction and no creatures. So yeah, control is bad for us. Humans, I guess, it's actually not too bad of a matchup. I mean, even in the cyber we have 3 Blood Moons, so we can fuck people's shit up. If you like the video, make sure you hit the like button. Don't forget to comment as well with your favourite thing about the deck or ideas for improving the deck, by the way. That's cool too. And with all that out of the way, let's play some Modern.
Hit the fuck bees!
We keep an opening hand with 3 lands in it. Our opponent mulligans to 6, putting a card on the bottom of the library thanks to the London Mulligan rule. They play a Blackcleave Cliffs into Faithless Looting. In the bin goes a Bloodghast and a oh shit, is this Hogaak? We draw another Bloodbraid Elf. We play Verdant Catacombs and we pass the turn. Our opponent dredges the Golgari Thug in their graveyard, putting a Grave Cooler and a Venge Vine into the graveyard. This is some form of Bridge Vine, but without the bridges of course, because they banned it to fix Modern. They play and shock themselves with an Overgrown Tomb, making a Bloodghast. They cast a Satyr Wayfinder. In response, I decide to go and fetch up my Stomping Grounds tapped. Satyr Wayfinder enters the battlefield, it reveals a lot of cards and shit. They tap their freshly played 1-1 and 2-1 and delve some cards to make a turn to 8-8 with Trample. This is in fact the second creature spell they've cast this turn, so it triggers and reanimates a Venge Vine. That's 15 power on board turn 2, 4 of it is attacking. I have a Stomping Grounds in play tapped. 1 singular Stomping Grounds. Uno Stomping Groundo. Fucking hell. I'm really glad, you know what? I'm really glad that Bridge from Below is the card they banned. Because if Bridge from Below was still in the format, it'd be so degenerate, wouldn't it? It'd be so obscene. Can you imagine if I got to play a Squire next turn that fetched up a 5-mana equipment? How broken that would be. Can you imagine if I could combo kill them on turn 4? Can you imagine if I could do that with Splinter Twin? How crazy this format would be. I screenshot this bullshit and post it to Twitter. We untap, we draw a Blasphemous Act, which is just way too slow despite their board presence. We are fucking dead. There is no 2 ways about it. There's nothing we can do. We're dead. That's a turn 2 virtual kill, an actual turn 3 kill. But remember kids, let's keep Stoneforge Mystic Band in Modern. Okay, so we are going to dilute our game plan somewhat here. We're taking out a Life from the Loam, both of these Flame Jabs, and bringing in double Grafdigger's Cage and a Scavenging Ooze. Remember, this deck isn't meant to be all that good. It's meant to be a bit of a meme, but I do feel that Modern is just hostile towards memery and brewing at the moment. You have to be doing something truly degenerate, like Neoform or Hogaak, to really get anywhere. Or Tron, I guess. Tron's still hot. We choose to take the play. I've heard it's good. We've got a hand here of Tranquil Thicket, Nurturing Peatland Mountain for our lands, plus looting, Hornet's Nest, and Wrenn and 6 and Bloodbraid Elf. Now, one of the lines we could have took here was to play the Nurturing Peak land and cycle the green cycle land so we can play Wrenn and 6 next turn, uptick and put the cycling land back into hand. It'll be a land deeper into our deck, or card deeper into our deck. That would have been the correct line. I fucked it up. Faithless Looting from our opponent, that card that's just, oh, it's not very good, is it? No, it doesn't enable anything. No, there's a Vengevine in the graveyard and a Golgari Thug. No. Faithless Looting's fine. It enables good, clean, fair magic, just as Richard Garfield intended. Okay, we drew a second Wrenn and 6, which makes my punt in sequencing even more frustrating. I play the Wrenn and 6, and I decide just to shoot them in the face. The closer they are to 13, the more likely we are just to randomly kill them with a combo. Now, if they don't just go fucking nuts here and make a shit ton of power, our Hornet Nest next turn might even buy us a turn or two in terms of how they can attack, so that we can actually get to a Blasphemous Act or a Blasphemous Sliver kill. They dredge and play a swamp. They Thoughtseize us, which... yeah, that kind of hurts quite bad. If there's one thing our deck folds to other than Tier 1 degenerate formats, it's Tier 1 degenerate formats playing actual real interaction. Fuck. They take Hornet's Nest, which means our roadblock that I mentioned, the speed bump, is kind of gone. We draw a Blasphemous Act, which makes it even sadder that poor Hornet Nest never got to see the light of day. Rest in peace, little fella. We Faithless Looting and we find a Blasphemous Sliver and a Wooded Foothills, which is good because it means we can actually move towards a combo kill. We ditch the second Wrenn and 6 and the land. We tick up Wrenn and 6 on the field to get the land back into hand, and then we pass the turn. They play and crack a Marsh Flats. They get a Blood Crypt and they shock themselves and cast a Golgari Thug. They also cast a Grave Crawler, which then triggers to bring back the Vengevine. Oh, dearie me. Hopefully they'll stop there. Hopefully they won't... oh no. Not like this. Not like this. They cast a Hogaak by tapping the Grave Crawler and the Golgari Thug and dredging away a load of shit. Or delving away a load of shit, if I use the correct term. Vengevine swings in and kills Wrenn and 6. Which has kind of done its job already so far. It's absorbed some damage and helped us hit land drops, I guess. And then right on time, like the hero we deserve but we don't necessarily need. Is that the meme? I can't remember. We've cast the Hornet Nest. The great thing about Hornet Nest blocking next turn is that it means that we will make bees, which makes the Blasphemous Act the following turn cost less. So if we do get to block, we make a lot of bees and get to Blasphemous Act, sliver them in the face. The only problem we've got is that they're actually on 14 lives. The Blasphemous Sliver combo doesn't actually kill them. We will have to attack them with whatever bees we have left after blocks this turn. Our opponent uses their last count on their Gemstone Mines to cast Faithless Looting out of the graveyard for 3 mana. The looting resolves, putting a Hogaak and a land in the graveyard. Our opponent goes to attack, but they're not quite sure how to attack because they don't want to give us too many death-touching bees. After a moment of thinking, they attack with just Hogaak and the Grave Crawler. I opted to block the Grave Crawler to make 2 bees. Remember, because Hogaak has trample, if I were to block the Hogaak, I'd still take 6 damage and only make 2 bees, because they only have to apply enough damage for lethal to my bee. They play a Polluted Delta. They crack it going to 13. Oh, and they shock themselves to 11. And they play another creature to make our Blasphemous Act even cheaper. Nobody respects or plays around Blasphemous Act in this format. This is the problem. If people respected good, clean, fun like Blasphemous Act, then I think the format would be in a better place. We untap and draw a Bloodbraid Elf, which is lovely and everything, but it's not useful here. We check Blasphemous Act's cost. At the moment it costs 2. So if we play a Spiteful Sliver, it will decrease the cost by 1 more and we'll get it down to just 1 red mana. We swing with our bees in the air, taking them to 9 to ensure we kill them by as much damage as possible. We play Blasphemous Sliver or Spiteful Sliver, whatever the fuck it's called. We cast Blasphemous Act and we shoot our opponent for 13 damage in the face. They're on 9 life. I'm going to snip this bad boy and put it on my Discord. Yeah, there we go. Fuck you, Hogaak. Fuck you.
Headshot.
Our opponent was testing our chat because we were talking on Discord and took too long to respond at one point. So it is possible for the meme to beat the degenerate nonsense. But can we get there again? Second game round. I do a bit of reading. I decide that actually these flame slashes aren't really worth it, and I'd rather have like bolts probably, because bolts could actually close out the game and my life total as well, and kills most of the things they play, except for obviously Hogaak because he's an 8/8 with trample for basically 2 mana. Seems fair. Seems fair. Our opening hand has 2 lands in it, but I'm going to keep it. We have both Hornet's Nest and Blasphemous Act, as well as our Volcano Hellion as backup. They lead with Blackcleave Cliffs into Stitcher's Supplier, putting a Vengevine in the bin. We draw our 3rd land because it's better to be lucky than good. We pass back with just a tapped Tranquil Thicket in play. What's the worst that could happen? Our opponent plays a Carrion Feeder. They use the Carrion Feeder's ability to sacrifice the Stitcher Supplier to grow the Carrion Feeder to a 2/2. They have effectively missed out on 1 damage here, unless they're going to make Vengevines at some point in this turn. They play a Bloodstained Mire, crack it, and fetch up an Overgrown Tomb, shocking themselves to 17, and they cast a Grave Crawler. They then turn both of these creatures sideways in some sort of profane act. What could this possibly... Oh, it's just a Hogaak. I take one more screenshot for Twitter because look at this. It's turn fucking 2. It's turn fucking 2 and they have 12 power in play and we haven't cast a spell yet. Can you imagine if I untapped and played a little core Artificer who goes and searches up an Umazawa's Jitte? I'd still lose this game by a huge fucking margin. I untap and draw a 2nd Volcano Hellion, which isn't great. I consider my lines here. I'm going to play the Wooded Foothills to crack and find a Stomping Grounds on their end step to fix our mana. We are taking 12, but that means that we're not dead. So maybe we can stabilise with the Hornet's Nest? Maybe. In their turn, I crack and fetch a Mountain, and I bolt the Carrion Feeder to conserve our life total. We end up only taking 10 damage this turn, going to 9. The problem we face is that now we've drawn a tapped land, we have to play our Verdant Catacombs to play our Hornet's Nest. If we play the Verdant Catacombs and crack it to go get a land, an untapped land, a forest for example, to play the Hornet Queen, we go to 8. That means our Hornet Nest can block a 2/1 Zombo, but the Hogaak does a full 8 damage to our face. We are fucked. Again, it's a virtual turn 2 kill, a turn 3 kill in the literal sense, but there was fuck all we could do about it with our deck full of memes and dreams. This time round, kids, it looks like Bees is just a meme. Do I think that Hogaak is still a problem? Potentially, yes. I think Modern is still this like drag racing format where everyone gets to do dumb shit. It's like Tron and Phoenix, Hogaak, Neoform. There are some fair decks like Jund and Control that perhaps I should play more of to maybe sample the better side of Modern. But I can't help but feel that the format still needs to be, I don't know, fixed in some way. We were hoping that Modern Horizons would fix it, but all it did was bring more degenerate shit. I guess we've got new sets on the Horizons, like Throne of Elad. I keep wanting to say Throne of Eladramri. That's not what it's called. Perhaps these sets will help to fix Modern. Perhaps Faithless Loot will get banned once Wizards stop delicately tiptoeing around the issue. Look, the eggs are broken. They're all over the floor. You're just stepping on cracked eggshells, Wizards. Get rid of that fucking card. I've been Vince, also known as PleasantKenobi on the internet. I hope you've enjoyed this shorter video showing off Bees versus Hogaak. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. In the meantime, be good to one another, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Hit the like button and drop me a comment before you go as well. Make sure you do that. I've even stopped the music. Go on. Go do that now. There's no more content. I'm just going to talk a little bit, then it's going to fade to black or fade to music, one of the two. Go on, leave a comment. Leave a comment. You can even leave a comment saying, I've left a comment. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Yeah.